Hello, everyone, and welcome to another match preview on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for today's show. No rest for the wicked, as they say, as even though match week 18 hasn't officially closed, Liverpool have done their part after defeating Leicester City 3-1 last night. So, with the fixture list piling up, we will now need to focus on our next match, which is taking place in just over 48 hours against West Ham. So, let's preview the game. We'll discuss the form of both teams, present the latest team news, and do a tactical breakdown with predicted lineups. So, let's start with the home team. The Hammers have been securing some points on the board, and that's probably helped Lopetegui's position at the club as he was under severe pressure due to his poor start to the Premier League season. In the last 5 games, they've managed to secure 2 wins, which was against Wolves and Southampton, 2 draws against Bournemouth and Brighton, and 1 defeat against Leicester City. So these are some decent results considering the form of some of the teams that I mentioned, especially the likes of Bournemouth and Brighton. And due to these good results, they have now moved up to 13th in the table, which is an improvement from earlier in the season, as they were pretty much around the relegation zone. Right now, they're only 6 points away from fifth place. That's how congested the top half slash mid table is right now. So if they're able to notch up a string of decent results, of course, after this game, they could be challenging for a European position. In regards to Liverpool, the Reds have been in much better form in the past a week or so, and especially with the standards being set so high, when we suffer a draw, it feels like a loss. And after dropping 2 points with two back-to-back draws against Newcastle and Fulham, Liverpool have managed to go back to winning ways in their last 2 games. First, they smashed Tottenham 6-3, and last time we defeated Leicester City 3-1. Also, a plus point for Liverpool is that the squad is returning to full force with the likes of Alisson, Elliott, Simicas, and Chiesa being available for team selection. So this game should be a routine fixture to gain another victory and continue to climb up the table, or should I say, extend our lead at the top. Currently, Liverpool are 7 points away from second place position team, which is Chelsea, but we have a game in hand. So things are looking great for Liverpool, and with this game being in match week 19, it's pretty much the halfway point of the season. So it puts us in a great position, and it also increases the belief that we should go on to win the league. But like the players would say in their post-match interviews, we've got to take it one game at a time, and that's probably the right approach. Can't be too arrogant about where we are in the league right now. We have to remain humble and remain focused as we're still fighting in all competitions. And I'm sure you agree that every game is as important as another. And this could be a season where we're able to secure multiple trophies. But obviously, we'll speak about that sort of aspirations in the course of the season. But for today, let's focus on the task ahead as we face West Ham this Sunday at the London Stadium. So what I'll do now is I'll present the team news and see who's available for selection. For West Ham, Paqueta returns to the squad after completing his one-match suspension. Antonio, unfortunately, is not available. He continues his rehabilitation from his horrific car accident. So all our thoughts and prayers are to him. Hopefully, he's making a swift recovery. Todibo is available for selection after returning to the squad against Southampton. However, it remains to be seen if he starts, as he's been out of favour with the manager due to off-field disagreements. Apparently, they got into a bit of a scuffle, so I'm sure the situation is not improved since then. In regards to Liverpool, Szoboszlai unfortunately picked up a fifth yellow last night against Leicester City, so he is suspended for this fixture. Konate and Bradley are still absentees from the squad, but we expect to see Chiesa in action, who returned to the squad against Leicester City after recovering from illness. So that is the team news currently that we have. Um, I'm sure there'll be a press conference for both managers tomorrow, but as of now, that is what we're hearing in terms of the latest team news. So what we'll do now is we'll present the predicted lineups, and then we can discuss tactically how both teams will set up. So we'll begin with the home team, which is West Ham. So here we go. So in goal, it normally is Ariana, but recently Fabianski has been playing as the main goalkeeper, so I think he will remain in the team unless Lopetegui has different ideas. So for now, we'll assume Fabianski remains in the starting 11. And then on the right side, you've got Wan-Bissaka, who looks like a completely different player. If I'm being brutally honest with you, he's got a couple of goals back to back. Beforehand, he hadn't got a single goal in the Premier League. So he's definitely enjoying life at West Ham, playing regular football. So yeah, he's definitely on form, and he's someone we're going to have to be wary of in terms of his defensive attributes because he's really good on one-on-one situations. So whoever's playing left wing will need to make sure they are on top of their game. In the centre back role, I think on paper Todibo would have been the ideal player in this position because he's such a quality player. But I think due to the rift that he's had with the manager, I don't see that being resolved so quickly. So Mavropanos, who played in the last fixture, I think will remain in the team. So he will be on the right side of the centre back position, and alongside him it will be Kilman who'll play. Who's actually been a decent signing from Wolves. And on the left hand side, you've got Cresswell and Emerson. I think Emerson is the preferred left back, so he will start in that role there. Generally, West Ham play either 4-1-4-1 or a 4-3-3 formation. But I think due to certain players returning to the squad, I think they'll deploy back to a 4-2-3-1, which is another formation that they play. So I think when they don't play with number 10, this is the formation where they go for more box to box midfielders. But when they have number 10 available in the team, they're able to play a 4-2-3-1 formation. So I think they will go with this formation. In terms of excuse me, the double pivot, I'm going to go for Suchek in the defensive midfield role alongside Edson Alvarez, who came on and had a really good impact against Southampton. And the number 10 that I'm referring to is, of course, excuse me if I can spell his name quickly, is Paqueta. There we go. Paqueta right there. So he'll be playing that number 10 role, in my opinion. And then on the right side, you've got Bowen, who's been quite prolific this season, and you've got Kudus, who's not really hit the heights that a lot of us expected, but that's probably down to not playing in his favorite position where he prefers to play from the right side, playing infield and then shooting from distance. But it still can be a live wire on that flank uh, on his natural foot, but I feel like he's more used to playing centrally or on the right hand side. But let's see how he does in this game. Whoever's playing at right back will definitely need to be on top of their game, that's for sure, because he is electric on and off the ball. And up top, I think it will be Fulkrug that starts in this fixture. So that is my predicted lineup for West Ham in terms of players that will cause Liverpool issue. It's definitely Paqueta. Whenever we've played against West Ham, despite the result, he's normally the best player on the pitch. That's how much of a great performance he produces. So he's a very, very good player. I do rate him very highly. So he could be a player that will, roam around, have a bit more free role, left-footed technician. So he's definitely got a strike on him. Kudus is going to be bombing down that left-hand side, and then you've got Bowen coming in, playing sort of like an inverted sort of winger, where he'll be a bit more to this position, kind of like how we play Salah, and then he will be utilized for his shooting ability. So that's something we need to be wary of. Suchek will possibly come a bit more box to box if required, but I think he's going to protect the back four in this fixture. In terms of the fullbacks, Wan-Bissaka for me remains a bit more deeper, and then Emerson might go a bit more ahead of the right back. But I think with Kudus being an out-and-out winger and playing more on the byline, I don't think he'll be deployed too further up. So they'll be playing a very compact um, back four, in my opinion. And they've got two defensive midfielders in Suchek and Alvarez. So it's going to be a difficult team to break down. But I still believe Liverpool have a lot of quality to find the solutions. And obviously, in recent games, we've been scoring a lot of goals. So the confidence is very high within the Liverpool squad. So this is my lineup. Feel free to drop a comment and let me know what do you think of the lineup. Is there any change that you think might occur? Do you think there might be other players that will be in frame to start? Because they do have a decent squad, in my opinion. You've got the likes of Somerville, who could come on, play on the left wing. If they want a bit more experience at the back, they've got Kofal, who can play right back. They've got Cresswell as well. Uh, they've got this young player in Luis Guilherme, a right winger from Brazil. So he'd be an interesting player to watch. I've seen clips of him. I remember covering him in the transfer window over the summer, and he looks like a very talented player. So probably just still getting accustomed to life in the Premier League, but we could see him making a cameo. And you've got the former Reds striker in Danny Ings available if they need a bit more firepower up top. So they definitely have good options from the bench. Um, Not real game changer. I think Somerville is very electric on that left wing and can score goals as well. So it'll be interesting to see if he takes part. So this is my predicted lineup for West Ham. So what we'll do now is we'll move on and predict the Liverpool lineup. So in goal, no surprise in terms of who will start there. I don't think we'll be rotating the squad right now. So Alisson is fully fit, so he will remain in between the sticks. And in terms of the back four, for me, Trent Alexander-Arnold remains in that position. If Conor Bradley was available, maybe we would have, played him against Leicester and then rotated for this game with Trent being reinstated. But due to, Conor Bradley still being a little bit far off from full fitness. We still got to utilize Trent a bit more. I think Bradley and Konate should be returning to the squad in about a week or so, but there hasn't been any further updates with regards to the injuries. When it was sort of first announced that these two players were injured, it was confirmed that they'll be out for around 5 to 6 weeks. This was in November. So the expected return was going to be first week of Jan. So we're not, too far off from that period of time. So hopefully we'll get an update from Arne Slott's press conference. I think he might be doing one tomorrow. So hopefully we'll get some feedback with regards to their rehabilitation and their, available in the coming weeks because I think they'll be needed. So Trent for me starts in this fixture alongside Joe Gomez, who I thought was really good yesterday against Leicester City. Virgil van Dijk remains in the team, of course, our captain. Despite having a better performance after making an error with the first goal, I'm actually going for Simicast in this lineup, and that's not because he made an error. And I'm referring to Robertson, of course. I'm thinking Simicast needs to get some match fitness going, and I feel like with Robertson, we can't play him every game. We have to rotate him a lot more. We have to manage his minutes a lot more, and I feel like Simicast for me seems fit and ready to take that left back position, make his own. I just feel like he's ready to step up now. So for me, this would be a great game for his introduction. And if he's able to produce a good performance, then he can continue playing in that role. But I do feel like we'll be rotating both left backs a lot more this season, which is good. It keeps the team fresh. We don't want to work some of the players with Robertson. He's been playing at a very vigorous level over the years. Um, High impact player, engine like no other. So obviously he's probably feeling the effects as he's getting older. So we need to rotate him a little bit more. And I feel like Simicast has shown this season that he has the quality to really step up and play in the first team. So I'm going for Simicast in the lineup. Now, in terms of the double pivot, Gravenberch will remain in the team. He had a good performance yesterday as well, so no reason to rotate him at this stage of the season, in my opinion. Alongside him was McAllister, and I think McAllister was fantastic yesterday. One of his standout performances from this season, in my opinion. In the number 10 role, I would have gone for Szoboszlai, but due to his suspension, I think Curtis Jones deserves to remain in the team. Scored a goal yesterday. I thought he had a good performance. Some fans may disagree, but I thought he had a really good performance yesterday. So that would be my midfield three. On the right hand side, Mohamed Salah remains in that position. Hopefully, he'll add more goals to his tally. Currently on 16 goals, top scorer in the league, also top assist or top playmaker in the league with 11, I believe it is. So yeah, he's definitely hitting all the numbers this season. 250 appearances for Liverpool, and he's also got 250 goal and assist contributions. So he's breaking records on a weekly basis. You know, we're getting accustomed to it now, to be fair. On the left hand side, it has to be Cody Gakpo. What a fantastic performance from him. Man of the match against the City, in my opinion. Scored a phenomenal goal and was really the main outlet, the main source of creativity, in my opinion. So he deserves to start in this fixture. Up top, I'm going to go for Luis Diaz. I think he's shown this season that he can really cement this role in the team, continue to play at a very high level. Of course, I do like him on the left wing, but I think even up top, he gives us a different dynamic. He plays in a false nine role, can drop deep, and can set the play in that sort of role. I think his passing is quite underrated. When he plays centrally, his link up play is very, very good. So for me, Diaz will start in this fixture. I know some may disagree and say Jota should get a start. I just don't think Jota is fully fit right now. So I wouldn't rush him so soon. And maybe some other fans would say, what about Darwin Nunes? He had a decent performance last night. I think in terms of his off the board work, he was really good, really pressing hard from the front. But I don't think he had a great game in terms of in front of goal. He had quite a few opportunities to hit the back of the net. There were a couple of occasions where he could have scored with a header. Had a chance where not quite one on one, but he was at that sort of position a bit more to the right side where if he just had a bit more composure, he could have hit the shot in the bottom corner. Had another chance where I think McAllister hit a low cross and he tried to flick it behind and ended up going through his legs and completely missed the ball. So for a striker that's supposed to be playing at the highest level for Liverpool, representing the number 9 shirt, for me, he's not delivered. And I feel like we have other players in our squad that are more than well equipped to lead the line for us. We've got Diaz, we've got Jota, we've got Chiesa available now as well. So we've got plenty of players that can play that striker role, even Gakpo if required. So for me, out of the bunch, I think Diaz is in best form. He's, fitness wise, he's fully fit. He didn't participate yesterday against Leicester City, so he was rested. So he will be fresh for this game, and hopefully he'll hit the ground running this Sunday. So for me, this is my predicted lineup. So feel free to drop a comment and let me know what your predicted lineup is and who you would start. And if you've got any questions in regards to mine or any comments about my selection, feel free to let me know. So that is my predicted lineup. And in terms of my score prediction, I'm going for a Liverpool win. What else am I going to go for? Despite being an away game, I do feel like we'll have a lot of the possession. I don't think West Ham will try and go toe to toe against us. I think they'll be playing on the counter attack a lot more. So they'll be trying to take advantage of any misplaced passes or maybe from their pressing, they might do that. But with Fulkrug leading the line, he doesn't come across as a player that presses very high. And they've got Paqueta, who is more of a impact player rather than a player that's a workhorse and is running around everywhere. Kudus and Bowen, they'll definitely press from their ends, but otherwise I don't see West Ham causing us too much havoc in that regards. So in terms of the score prediction, I'm going for a 3-0 victory for the Reds. And in terms of my predicted goal scorers, I'm going for Mohamed Salah, of course, another goal tally to his Current ratio right now, 16 goals. Hopefully, we'll make it 17. And Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz. So that is my prediction for the match, and that is also the end of the match preview. To see a couple of comments there, I'll read them out before we close the show. Um, Nick says, I'm glad being the first to hit the like. Big up yourself, Nick. Thank you for hitting the like button and thank you for your comment. Appreciate you getting involved. And Nick also says, West Ham have very good first team players. They do. We can't underestimate them. But I think the brand of football doesn't really suit the proper players that they have. I feel like if they had a bit more of an attack minded coach, they will be playing a lot better, in my opinion, because they've got such great ability in the squad. But with Lopetegui's tactics and his philosophy, it's quite of a cautious approach. I don't feel like it suits a lot of the players that are in the squad. So on paper, they've got some really good players, but I just don't feel like they've hit the heights as was expected. And I think the appointment of Lopetegui was a bit of a strange one. I don't know how much involvement the sporting director had, but they seem to have clashed as well. That's the rumor behind um, I guess the background in terms of what happens in the hierarchy. He wasn't it wasn't his recommended choice to have him as the coach. Um, so obviously issues there within the board and the sporting director at West Ham. But that's a discussion for West Ham fans to have. But in terms of the team, yep, got good players, but I'm very confident that Liverpool can capitalize and really continue their good form that we've shown in recent weeks, especially beating Tottenham 6-3, and then we beat Leicester City 3-1, 9 goals in 2 games. Yes, we conceded three against Tottenham, which was a bit of a concern, and we conceded one yesterday, but I think that was just down to poor positioning from our defenders. And it wasn't just Robertson. I'm not highlighting one player. I think Van Dijk could have done better. I think Gravenberch um, could have done better before that ball arrived on the left side, and Trent could have been in a better position. So you've got to look at the dynamics as well. Can't just pinpoint one player. Even though Robertson should have done a little bit better, he was turned and then outspun in the same move. So yeah, you don't really like seeing that happening to your fullback. But we move on. And to be fair to him, he definitely improved after that. He was fully focused, contributed really well to our attacking part of our game, and defensively was a lot better as well. So that's what you want. If a player makes an error, you want to see how they are going to respond, and he responded in the perfect manner, in my opinion. So West Ham, yes, there'll be a difficult opposition, but I have a lot of faith that we'll get the win. So that's why I've gone for a 3-0 scoreline. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to Nick for your comments as well. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. In terms of upcoming content, 50-50 with regards to doing a watch along on Sunday. So what I'll do is I will confirm Sunday morning slash early afternoon if I'll be doing it or not. So best thing to do is follow me on social media. That's when I'll let you guys know. I'll also post something for the YouTube community, as in you guys, um, to let you know if I'm doing a show or not. Um, and then from there onwards, we'll have a lot more shows coming up. So from next week, we'll start doing transfer talk shows. We'll do a generic one for Premier League teams, but we'll also do a dedicated transfer talk show for Liverpool. I'm sure there'll be a lot of rumors circulating with the window set to be open very soon, so we can discuss that in more detail. And then, yeah, tomorrow I'll probably be doing a Premier League review show of match week 18. So summarize what's happened in terms of all of the games, with Man City dropping points, Chelsea losing as well. It's been a good match week so far. I know Arsenal play later on today, so we'll see what happens with them. So yeah, lots of content coming your way. So feel free to hit that notification bell so you know what time we go live. And as I mentioned, you can follow me on social media at Ozzie.ftp on Instagram and also at Ozzie_FTP on X/Twitter. Just got a couple comments here from Graham. Big up Graham. He says, I hope you are all right. I'm all good, Graham. I hope you are doing good today. And he says, I hope we can keep a clean sheet. I hope so too. I predicted for a 3-0 win. So hopefully, I'm correct in terms of my prediction there. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all very, very soon. Goodbye.